Alrighty. These two little bunnies and I are gonna teach you how to make some ancient ruins in Minecraft. Now, I've picked the desert biome because it's the least laggy biome, and because it's got my little buddies here. So, first of all, to make your ruins, what you're gonna need is stone brick slabs, mossy stone brick slabs, stone brick stairs, mossy stone brick stairs, cracked stone bricks, mossy stone bricks, dead fire coral, bees, and a blue bed. This is very important later. Always keep those in your inventory. Anyways, that's the lineup we need. What you're going to start out with is your base wall. So, it can be like that. Let's say you're doing a half ruin. I use the cracked stone bricks instead of the regular stone bricks because, well, they're cracked. It gives that extra wear and tear. So for ruined buildings, what I like to do is, depending on how they were ruined, build them a bit differently. So as you can see, I'm only doing 2 walls right now, and that's because as buildings crumble, they don't crumble evenly, especially if they were destroyed by some natural disaster or unnatural disaster, heaven forbid, where only one part of the building is left. So, like, if you had if you had a bomb hits here, blows up half the wall's standing. So you gotta consider what kind of ruin you're gonna build. Your bed's gonna be for when the sun goes down. That's more for me than you. Don't worry about that. Then use the stairs. You can create. Just get to flying here. This is how you create uneven-looking cracks in your wall, and you can replace different sections. And I like to put some sideways, so you get these 1/4 shafts in there, instead of just having a big hole that people can mistake for a window. That way it looks like, sections have fallen out of the wall. You can do that again with the half slabs too, just like that. Now you've got to think about your floors too, because there might still be part of the floor standing. And for stone tends not to support itself very well, from what I'm told. So you have to sort of hint at a couple of pillars that might be still supporting part of the next floor there, if you like. And what I like to do is put in some mossy stuff going on there. And on my ruins, I like to build up the corners up to the tippy top of where I think the buildings might have been, just to show that one side of the building has stood out over the years, while another side has not. Then on the edges, instead of having the 1x1 up and overs, I put a couple stairs in there to make it look as though some of the corners have popped out. I do like to have some overhang too, just to show that maybe some of the structure is still there. And you can, of course, just put these in on the corners there, anywhere you like. Just like that. So now, it's looking like we have... Oh, and here's one of my favorite things to do. Putting stairs on top of other stairs makes a pretty neat effect. Then you have all kinds of nooks and holes going on there. Another important thing, for me at least, is to clear some space and put down some blocks to make it look as though stuff's been... Some of the ruins haven't been ground to dust over the years yet. They've just fallen in place around your building. I think it looks neat. Maybe you like just the freestanding walls, but for me, I definitely like to make it look like some stuff's been falling off. Now, the reason I use the dried fire coral is because I personally happen to think it looks more like debris than gravel does. You could also use gravel if you like. My personal preference is the fire coral, just because it looks like it's got a bit larger of chunks in there. I find the gravel looks a bit too fine. Look, it looks like gravel, whereas this looks like, you got pieces of brick and stuff in there. And I do like to place these sort of in the building. Now, I never put it on the corner because, this little part of rubble would have fallen out if it's not supported by something. So I usually leave these for the bigger chunks, and then just put a couple of those in there to make it look like, part of the interior of the walls have been falling apart, but it's just being held in place by all the other stuff around it. So it hasn't quite crumbled out yet. So that's a pretty basic one. Now, if you want to, kind of looks like a ruin. It obviously doesn't fit in the desert, so let's add maybe this building had some pillars to it. So, oh, that's a bit off. The architects originally probably would have put the pillar more like there, huh? So maybe that was part of a grand building with pillars. Now I don't know I have no idea how pillars would fall apart over the years, but from what I've seen from good old Roman ruins, they've got their support trellises there, whatever you call those. And those probably wouldn't be standing out too well. Now we could make this one into another pillar and then connect them, make it look like part of that was still standing. And once again, we can use these to sort of make an unevenness to our build here. Oh, that's not going to work. So then, as you can see, we just kind of add on different sections in different states of disrepair. So we can even make it look like the pillars are kind of just being held on, and a strong breeze could topple them at any moment. So now I've got that going on. Let's build one out here. Make it look like this was maybe it was a palace of some kind. Now I haven't used much moss because this is the desert, but as you can see, you can vary it up a little bit. Make it look a little more like it's in a forest. If it's in a forest biome, these come in pretty handy. Make it look like stuff's been growing on your ruins like that. And as you can see, you really can't overdo it with the negative spaces there. That makes it look all the better, in my opinion. Offset some of those. Yeah, there you go. That's starting to look a little more worn. And I think I'm going to add a bit more to the... Oops. I think I'm going to add a bit more height to this pillar. Make it look like maybe there was it went up a couple of levels. Just like that. Maybe have that coming out there. And the wonderful thing about stairs is that they come out in all different angles and shapes, so you can really use that to your advantage to create the illusion of quartered blocks. I know in some mods you can really get meticulous about how much space your blocks take up, but I'm assuming you're not using any mods, much like me. I don't use any mods yet. But just you wait. Just you wait, the mods, they will come. Let's have this one look like it had collapsed, so I'll put some debris down here, just like that. Make it look like these ones definitely had a bit more weathering to them. Let's put another ruined pillar in there. That one didn't really make it. And you can just, if you're looking for just a quick ruined wall, like sometimes you might go into the woods by an old logging camp, or maybe a ghost town from the Gold Rush era, and all you're really going to see is, if not just like one small row of where the foundation was, you might see a wall or two that's very shallow, like this. Even from the few ghost towns I've been to that haven't been reconstructed over the years, there's really not much left to them. So even just using exclusively stairs to make these kind of ruined walls can add just that little bit of a little bit of history to the ruin you're making. Now, of course, I like to add pillars to mine because I like to think that these little bunnies who once ruled the world, they were a pillar-making civilization. They loved their pillars. It gave them something to hop through. And I just add a bit more support there. Like I said, if you research exactly what kind of ruin you're making, like this one, I kind of started it off as though it had been damaged in some disaster or blast from one side, but then I kind of just added pillars to it, so it can really change up the look of what you're going for. For example, I could add another section here. Okay, and just like that, we've sort of changed the very foundation, the very history of how this building kind of got ruined. So instead of being some war or disaster, we can see that you know, the damage is kind of uniform, more uniform now. Just add a bit more of the floor protruding there, and since that's actually the same level as just realized these two. Oh no, wait. Oh, those seem okay. Never mind. I'm a bit meticulous sometimes when I don't need to be. As long as it looks pretty. That's as pretty as a ruin can look, anyways. Let's add some more damage in here. There we go. That bed out of here. Nobody's living in this ruin. Alright, so that's very simply how you can get a crumbled old ruined looking building. And of course the most important part is the bees. You cannot forget the bees. Bees are very notorious stalkers of ancient ruins, so you just gotta really go nuts with these guys. Just really let it rip.